I just dyed my hair this morning. I feel like a whole new girl. I feel like whenever I bleach my hair and I wear it like this, it's giving Khaleesi, the dragon lady from, what is that TV show? Game of Thrones. But we have a Patreon meetup today. We're gonna go down by the Seine, and I told everyone, like, bring something creative for yourself, whether that's your sketchbook or something, and we're gonna do something creative. Usually, like, these picnics can be like go on for a very long time, and it's super fun because everyone's like drinking wine and things. But I think this time around I'm not gonna drink any wine. Like, lately I've not been feeling very like I want to drink at all. Like, I've done years of sobriety, and then like periods of dabbling in alcohol again, but I just feel like in this season of my life I want to be like more present and just connect to people without it. Not that I am saying it's like bad or anything, but I like to make the decision before I go to a place whether I'm gonna drink or not, because it just helps for when I get there. But I'm gonna do some journaling before I go, because apparently today is, what is this? I never told you guys. I told my Patreon podcast, but I, at the beginning of the year, decided to do a sort of challenge with myself, like the 100 rejection challenge, where you try to get rejected 100 times. And I like rationed it out, and I was like, I think I need to get like 2 rejections a week. And I started it, and then I just kind of forgot about it, because weirdly enough, I wasn't getting rejected. I was getting opportunities, but a lot of these opportunities I was not ready for. For example, I had gotten an opportunity to do a concert in Japan, in Tokyo. I'd have to swap my apartment out. I'd have to, like, all of these things would have to fall in line. So I told him, like, I'll try and maybe do it next year. But all this to say that a lot of times we are the ones that hold ourselves back. We're the ones that tell ourselves no before other people tell us no. And the reason why I liked this challenge of trying to get 100 rejections is, out of those rejections, a lot of times you'll get acceptances. I have been rejected as well. Maybe at the end of the year I'll just like a roundup of all my rejections and my acceptances. But I think it's a way, because it's hard to actually think of like 100 things you want to be rejected for that you're also ready for if they say yes. So what it does is it challenges you to think bigger than you would normally think, and because we get really comfortable, you know what I mean? So this way it forces us to think, well, what do I know I'm gonna get rejected for? But get ready, because you might not be. So anyway, the reason I brought this up is because I was making a list of my rejections so far this year, and things that I could try for, and I'd encourage you guys to do this as well. Just even to come up with 100 rejections is a lot. So yeah, I gotta get ready to go to the picnic, and I'll try and film some of it.
You look so cute.
Oh, thank you.
Yes. This is Mother Nature, so it's a Beatles song.
Oh.
It's not.
You have to get a one that
I know.
how about you take that list and read that?
Yeah. I'm like, okay, I need to be like.
You need to apologize to me for what you said to me, and he goes, "That's to you. You can fuck yourself." And I was like, what the fuck?
It is Tuesday night, and I'm on my way to a cafe to meet a woman who bought 2 paintings from me, and she asked me if she could pick them up when she visits Paris, and I was like, yeah, totally. And then she invited me to dinner, so I'm really excited to meet her and also give her the paintings. I just think it's so special to give them in person because I usually don't get to meet the people since I'm like walking uphill, so I'm dying. I usually don't get to meet the people who buy pieces from me because I'm usually selling them online. She's retired now, I believe, but she used to work and be on SNL, and so I think it'll be really nice to like hear her stories. I think it'll be really fun to like get to talk about being an artist and all these things. And here's her package. Yeah, I'm not sure if she'll want to be on camera, but if she does, it would be interesting maybe to do that. But I'm just very, very grateful. I'm very grateful to get to be a DIY artist that does things in my own way, you know? Like, I never thought growing up that I'd ever get to do this, like, and follow my dreams. And I just keep reminding myself that I don't have to worry about how things are going to work out. I just need to keep showing up and doing the things I love and putting good things out into the world in a positive mindset. And when you do that, then I really feel like the universe can't help but to match you where you are energetically. And I was talking to my friend about money today, and I think a lot of artists have this struggle around money of feeling like they don't have enough, or, you know, like you see this amount in your bank account and you're like, I take this as my reality, you know? But I always tell myself, whenever I'm worried about money, I always say the affirmation, I always have more than enough of what I need. When we heal our relationship with money, we stop living from a place of fear, but instead a place where magic can happen. And yeah, I actually go into this more in my book about healing your relationship with money, because I used to have a really bad relationship with money and was always like stressed out and worried. But I've been like the poorest you could possibly be. Like, I used to be on food stamps. And then I've had periods where I was doing better, and then ebbs and flows. But I always remember that my power doesn't come from the amount of money that I have in my bank account. It comes from my ability that I know that no matter what, I'm gonna be okay, you know? And I think that's very powerful as a creative to keep that mindset. Okay, I'm gonna visit the cafe. I'm excited to meet her and give her paintings.
I'm so excited because I've been following the Purple Palace for about 2 to 3 years now. And here she is, like Elizabeth Taylor walking out of a movie. I love your art, and I bought some. Look what I bought from you today.
I know, yay.
Okay, well, Shayna, tell them when you were born.
1992.
She was born the year I left Saturday Night Live. I had a baby. I was married to a fire eater in LA. I was the breadwinner. Phone rang. They said, "Do you want to audition for Saturday Night Live?" On my Kermit the Frog phone. And I said, yeah. I'm like, I don't know where they got
Because you were
me.
doing stand-up comedy at the time.
I had been on Johnny Carson
Oh,
3 times a year for 3 years so far.
Doing like stand-up stuff.
Doing stand-up and then sitting at the panel and playing the ukulele and talking to Johnny like a ditzy, trying to be an actress. He was following my attempt at being an actress. Like every time he'd have me back on.
It's funny because I always sing the song with my mom.
Me too. When skies are gray, you'll never know, dear, how much I love you. Please don't take my purple palace away. Isn't she cute? I just want to put her in my pocket and take her home with me.
Lyon Pardieu et Saint-Étienne. Nous roulons actuellement à la vitesse de 277 km/h. Et durant tout le parcours, je resterai en contact avec votre chef de bord.
I unexpectedly left Paris for a few days to go to Saint-Étienne to the Museum of Modern Art there because they were having a special exhibition on Frank Stella and some other American artists for their exhibition called Flying Colors. And I was so inspired by the way that the paintings were sculptures, but also paintings, because this is something that I do a lot in my own work. And they were just so playful, you know? And it reminded me to continue to have this energy when it comes to my own artwork. We had lunch there. I had duck for the first time, which was amazing. I was a little scared to try it, but I actually really loved it. And back in Paris, I continued with going to art shows over the next few days. There was an art show that I wanted to see for a while at the Grand Palais from a Swedish artist whose name is Hilma af Klint. And I really wanted to go because her artworks are very colorful and spiritual. And I thought that they could inspire me, you know, as I'm somebody that is trying to deepen my own spirituality and seeing how that can play into my artwork as well. And so I made a day of it, even though like a lot of times I just want to stay home because I'm like a big introvert. I really realized like how actually going in and soaking up culture can expand your own inner world. I'm just leaving the Hilma Klint exposition. It was one of the most high frequency experiences I've had visiting an exposition ever, and she was a very spiritual person, and I had a million things to do today, but I was like, no shit, like something was telling me to go to this exposition, and just the colors and the feeling is definitely something I'm going to be thinking about for a super long time. and then as I'm leaving, I get a message from a girl that said, oh my God, Shanna, I think I just saw you leave the exposition. I feel like you're like a descendant of this artist and you inspire me, and it's crazy to see like my two sources of inspiration at the same time. And it almost brought tears to my eyes because, you know what's so crazy is earlier I was talking about how I'm doing this like rejection therapy where I like try to get rejections this year to expand my inner world and to just like push myself further in what I believe is possible for myself. And yesterday I had gotten rejected for something a year earlier, and I was like, fair. And then this person reached out to me with like an opportunity that I could not even believe it. I'll share it with you maybe in like another video, but it had to do with the rejection that I got a year ago, and then them coming back and saying something else. I'm sorry I'm being vague about it, but I don't want to share until I'm like 100% sure. And when I got the message, I'm telling you, I was like, there's no fucking way. There's no way that like this rejection that I got a year ago because of like me reaching out, that this new opportunity is coming in, like a different type of opportunity. And so what happened was the first like couple hours when I got this opportunity, I was like, this is like too crazy to be a coincidence. And I was just like praying about it and like wanting something like this to happen. But then like the next few hours afterwards, my brain started going to like all of the ways that it could go wrong, you know? And I was like, what? This is so weird, because I literally filmed the part of the video earlier talking about this exact thing, like reach out for opportunities and try to get them, but like if you actually get it, be prepared for that. And then this happens, and then I don't know, it's just really strange. And I was thinking about this all day, like how would I react if I believed that everything was happening for me? How would I react? How would I live my day to day? How would you live your day to day if when you woke up you did the thing that you were most excited to do first? If you allowed yourself to tell yourself the story that makes you feel the most alive and most supported, you know? Like the things that I'm talking to you about, there's still things that I'm learning myself. But I think what I realized, like the most important thing is to keep building momentum and challenging yourself and scaring yourself and knowing that like you're the one that in many ways is holding yourself back, you know? I was thinking about this a lot as well in terms of like creating abundance in our life. You know, like a lot of people say, I can't do this because I don't have the money to do this. But abundance isn't necessarily money. I mean, it can be. But abundance can also be the gift of imagination. Because when you have an amazing imagination, you can imagine different ways of getting what you need in that moment. I heard somewhere that abundance is the ability to do what you need to do when you need to do it. And so in that sense, like abundance can also be like our ability to communicate. For example, when I am going through a difficult time and I'm honest with you guys, like when I had the fire in my apartment earlier, there were so many of you that like in that moment decided to support my art. And it's so crazy because when we actually can ask for help, like that can be a form of abundance too, of saying like, I have the openness to believe that people want the best for me and like ask for help. Anyway, something that I've been really wanting to do recently is deepen my spirituality. And then I go to this exposition, which is like super spiritual, and then all these things are happening and like I'm grateful and excited for them. But I also just wanted to share like some of the things that I'm thinking about as well, because I don't want to think about how things could go wrong. Instead, I want to think about all the ways things could go right. And make choices from love and not fear. I feel like I was going to take the metro, but then I got like a voice in my head that said, walk home. Walk home, girl. I'm like, I don't want to walk home because it's fucking hot. But also, like, I realize when I go on walks, I get like a lot of amazing ideas. Oh, by the way, I've just been like pacing back and forth on this little pathway, because if I go out, like, if I actually start walking home, the sun is like crazy right now. But yeah, I think like that's my biggest realization around like rejection and abundance, is we have in our head that there's only one way of doing things. There's only one way you're going to get what you need to get. But I think I've just like changed my mind about that. And I realize now that like there's a million ways to get where you want to go. For example, when I wanted to travel the world and I was broke, I thought like, how can I get abroad? And then I became an au pair, you know? And then like, yes, it wasn't like the traditional way of doing things. I wasn't studying abroad, but it still got me to where I need to go. And so maybe think in your life right now, like, how can my imagination get me to where I need to go? How can asking others for help? How can sharing my work? How can social media help me to get where I need to go, you know? And abundance will come to you. Oh, it's scary. Like, there's a part of it that's scary. For sure. But is that just the story I'm telling myself? Because the reality is that worrying doesn't help you. Worrying just creates division. And I notice that whenever like I'm going to meet somebody, if I tell myself the story beforehand, like we're gonna have so much fun and it's gonna be such a good day, then it is. But if I go into it with like a weird mood, or, you know, it's actually really crazy when you realize that like 90% of problems are like yourself that create them in your mind, you know, because it creates a lot of responsibility on ourselves, you know. Yeah. Anyway, my phone is actually about to die, so I'm gonna end the video here. I love you guys so much. I hope that this could inspire you in some way, and I'm really excited. I'm excited for this little spiritual journey I'm on. I'm excited to be able to connect and share the things that I'm thinking about with you guys. If you guys want to see more videos from me, you can check out my other vlogs, my Instagram, as well as my art shop if you want to get prints or whatever. And I love you so much. And if you made it to the end, leave me a comment that says abundance is mine. It is.